Chapter 2032. It's fine. Honey, you can sleep a little longer. I'll go downstairs and make breakfast for everyone. Perhaps it was because this was the first time in 4 years that Huamin was reporting to Southside, so she was very excited. She even got up before 6 o'clock and volunteered to prepare breakfast for everyone. The maids in the kitchen were all shocked. They were so scared that they tried to persuade her. A young lady, we can do it. Just tell us what you want to eat. Yeah, a young lady, we know how to make both Chinese and Western food. Please don't come in. The kitchen is so cold. I don't want you to catch a cold. Mr. Qin will be worried about you. Hurry up and go upstairs. Even Uncle Li came over to persuade her. A young lady, just leave it to them. You still have to go to work today, don't work too hard. Uncle Li, it's not hard. I just can't sleep and I'm so happy. I want to make breakfast for my husband and children. Don't be nervous, really. Huamin was speechless when she saw how nervous everyone was. She wasn't a rich girl who didn't know how to do anything. She came from an ordinary family. Although her cooking wasn't particularly delicious, it was still acceptable. She had cooked for Mr. Qin before. Back then they had just gotten married and were living in Imperial Park. The two of them were still living in a sweet and cozy world. However, as their careers got busier and busier, they were both busy with their own things and rarely had the chance to cook. Hearing Huamin's words, the others didn't insist. The maids helped Huamin and she was very busy. When the twins and Qin Chu woke up, Huamin had already prepared a sumptuous breakfast. When Qin Ning came downstairs, she was shocked. Sila, I heard you made all this. Yeah, what do you think? Do you have an appetite? Huamin asked proudly with her hands on her hips. Amazing. Damn, you're so talented. You even know how to steam buns. Qin Ning was full of admiration as she looked at the exquisite soup dumplings. Did Big Sis make breakfast? That's unbelievable. Jishin scratched the back of his head. So, Mommy, is it an important day today? Pudding looked at the breakfast on the table and then looked at her mother. Little Bean greedily took a red bean pie and took a bite. It tastes really good. Mommy, you're in such a good mood today, can I make a request? Little Bean took the opportunity to extort. Tell me about it. Can I eat a little bit more than every day? After all, I made it myself. Little Bean looked at her mother pitifully. Because she always ate too much, Huamin forbade her to look at him when they were eating. She couldn't eat too much. If she ate a little, she wouldn't be allowed to continue eating the main dishes. She could only drink soup for the rest. Sure. Huamin smiled at Little Bean and gave her an exception. Qin Chu was the last to go downstairs for breakfast. When he came down, he was already dressed in a suit. Because he was too good-looking, he looked handsome no matter what he wore. Brother, look at how virtuous your wife is. She made so much delicious food. Thank you for your hard work, Qin Ning said. Qin Chu looked at the breakfast and then looked at Huamin. Honey, did you make all of this? Please praise me. Huamin walked over and leaned on Qin Chu's chest like a little bird. Tonight I'll serve you even harder, Qin Chu whispered into Huamin's ear. Qin Ning immediately blushed. Huh? Mommy's blushing. Did Daddy say something embarrassing? Little Bean began to gossip. Chapter 2033. Let's eat. Huamin coughed awkwardly and went back to the table with Qin Chu. After breakfast, Qin Chu went to the company and Huamin went to Southside. Little Bean and Tian were playing with toys at home while Pudding looked out the window with a lot on her mind. What's wrong? What's on your mind? Qin Ning walked over. I want to go to the hospital to see the big blockhead. Qin Ning immediately knew who Pudding was talking about because she had told her about the incident earlier. No problem, I'll drive you there. Really? Pudding was surprised. Of course. Go. I'm not very familiar with this place yet. Okay, I'll go change. After saying that, Pudding ran upstairs and changed into a white long-sleeved lace princess dress with a red fur vest. She was wearing a red beret and looked very pretty. Little Bean, I'm going to the hospital to see the big blockhead. Do you want to come? Pudding asked. I'm not going. I'll stay at home and play with Tian. You go and say hi for me, Little Bean said like an adult. Hey. When we come back in the afternoon, I'll ask Auntie to pick you up. I'm going to have afternoon tea with Handsome Sue. No problem, I'll wait for you guys at home. You guys be careful, Little Bean said and continued playing with Tian. After the sisters reached an agreement, Pudding held Auntie's hand and walked out. Qin Ning picked a white Porsche 918 from the underground garage of South Hill Manor. Then she took Pudding to the first hospital. Inside the room, the nurse was wiping Dahai's face. He was seriously injured and couldn't take care of himself, so he was in a lot of pain. He looked a lot more haggard. "Hey, big blockhead," Pudding walked over and greeted him. "Little Pudding, you're here." The man smiled honestly. "How are you feeling today? Does it still hurt?" Pudding asked in a cute voice. "No. I'm a big man, what's there to be afraid of? You think too much of me." Dahai laughed. "Mommy said, your injuries aren't light. You even injured your internal organs. You have to rest well." "I know. Your mommy gave me a lot of money. She even said that she would do surgery for my mom." "Thank you. Don't worry, my mommy is a woman of her word. She's going to work at Southside today and she'll probably have the surgery today. By the time you recover, your mom will probably have recovered as well." Yes. This is the happiest thing in my life." Dahai was a little touched. He raised his hand to wipe his tears. "I told you I wasn't lying. I did what I promised you," Pudding said proudly. "Yes, I believe you too. So I'm where I am today." Dahai still felt that his kindness was being rewarded. "Do you know what happened to those bad guys?" Pudding stood by the bed and asked. Dahai shook his head. "The bad guys who watched over us with you were all sentenced to more than 20 years. I heard that the leader of the bad guys, the guy named Huasi, died in prison. His partner, the Vietnamese woman, was also killed by the explosion. Evil deeds are doomed to destruction. If you do too many bad things, you'll be punished by the heavens. Dahai, remember, no matter how poor you are, you can't steal, rob, or do bad things. You have to have a backbone, okay?" Pudding actually started lecturing him. Qin Ning couldn't help but laugh when she heard this. Her niece had turned into Tang Sanzang and no one could stop her. Chapter 2034. The strangest thing was that the man actually nodded his head as if he was possessed by gods and demons. He looked as if he was obedient. "I'll remember that, little one. You're right. Although I don't really understand what you meant by doing evil, I know you're telling me not to do bad things and to be a good person. Good things will come to me in the future. You're a promising child. I'll come visit you when I have time. Dahai, thank you for saving my sister and me. You'll have a better life in the future. Take care of yourself." Pudding comforted him like an adult before leaving the room. "Pudding, you're too mature. I'm not used to it. I feel like you know everything." Qin Ning laughed. "I know everything," Pudding said proudly. "Okay, I know. Little princess, you're the best and smartest. So what are we going to do now?" Qin Ning looked at her niece. Pudding looked at her watch. "I asked Handsome Sue out for afternoon tea, but it's still early. Do you want to go bowling?" "Bowling? You know how to?" Qin Ning was surprised. "Don't be surprised. There's nothing I can't do. Only things you can't think of." Pudding smiled mysteriously. "Then it's decided. Go. Auntie will take you." Qin Ning and Pudding hit it off. After leaving the hospital, they went directly to a high-end indoor sports club. The aunt and niece played bowling. On the other hand, Huamin went to work at Southside for the first time. At the Southside staff meeting, President Wu announced that Huamin would continue to be the chief neurologist. At the same time, she would also be the vice director of Southside Recuperation Center. "Now let's have Dr. Hu say a few words. Welcome." President Wu was in a good mood and started clapping. The crowd burst into thunderous applause. Although it had been 4 years, Huamian's name still carried a lot of weight at Southside. As Huamin's assistant Qinjie's eyes were filled with tears. She couldn't help but secretly send a video to Ni Yang. "Look at how amazing our sister is." Qinjie typed to Ni Yang. "Sister Mian is awesome. Hurry up and take more videos. I want to see how she looks when she's a doctor again." Ni Yang was doing his makeup in the dressing room when he saw the video. He was a little excited. Huamin was flattered by President Wu's speech. He stood up and clasped his hands together. "Thank you for your trust and support from all my colleagues. I really like Southside. When I was young, my dream was to be an outstanding doctor. I didn't go against my heart, my professional ethics, or my personal integrity. I just wanted to do my job well and help the patients around me recover to a healthy state because of me. After 4 years, I didn't even dare to imagine that I would be able to return to this position. I just want to thank you, Mr. Director, and all the teachers for your trust in me. I'll work harder in the future. Thank you." Huamian didn't say too many flowery words, nor did she try to be polite. She spoke from the bottom of her heart. She was so excited that tears welled up in her eyes. She loved this place so much. She had dreamt so many times that she would come back to work here. She liked it when people called her Dr. Hua. He was always proud of being a doctor. From this moment on, her resume at Southside had to be rewritten. Hua Min, female, 28 years old, was the youngest chief neurologist in the country and an outstanding doctor who had won international awards. Chapter 2035. She was also the youngest vice director in the country. Due to her intelligence and outstanding medical skills, she was promoted again and again. Now, even though she was promoted to vice director, no one would think that she used her connections to get in. In order to become a doctor, she even resigned from her position as GK's president. How could someone like her care about fame and fortune? She was probably in a world that many people couldn't see through. After the morning meeting, Hua Min immediately immersed himself in his work. In just one morning, he received 8 patients from the neurology department and diagnosed them, prescribed medicine and treated them. When it was almost noon, Qinjia walked in with a thick stack of documents. "Chief, the professors from the neurology department asked me to show you these. They said that Sun Dehai's mother's surgery will be at 3 p.m., and they want you to be there on time." "Got it. Leave the documents here, I'll read them right away." "But it's noon, it's time for lunch," Qinjia reminded him as she looked at her watch. "Go eat, just bring some takeout for me. I still have a lot of documents to read." Hua Min found his old life again and even felt that being busy was a form of happiness. Seeing Hua Min so immersed in his work, Qinjia smiled happily. "Okay, Chief, I'll leave you to it." Then she quietly closed the door. After Qinjia left, Hua Min was just about to continue working when her phone rang. It was a video call invitation. She looked at the caller ID, smiled and quickly picked it up. "Hello, Mr. Qin. Dr. Hua, congratulations. It looks like I'll have to call you Director Hua from now on." Qin Chu narrowed his eyes as he looked at his wife. "You're so well informed." Hua Min was proud. "Of course, it's such a big deal, how could I not know? It's all over the news. President Wu is getting old, so he's being more high profile." Hua Min was speechless. "How are we going to celebrate tonight? What do you want to eat?" "I'll make a reservation," Qin Chu asked. "Not necessarily tonight. There's a surgery at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm not sure what time I'll be out." Hua Min seemed to be in a difficult position. "Okay, Dr. Hua, you're already so focused on your work. I wish you all the best. Take care of yourself. Remember, don't overwork yourself. Do you hear me?" Mr. Qin ordered in a domineering tone. "Respect, Lord Qin. Go ahead then. Remember to eat. I'll continue with the meeting." After Qin Chu hung up the phone and was about to organize the meeting materials, he heard Bella report, "President Qin, someone wants to see you, but he doesn't have an appointment." "Who is it?" Qin Chu raised his head. Bella hesitated for a moment before replying slowly, "It's the movie star Miss Mo Shui." "I don't know her." Qin Chu decisively refused. "But Miss Mo said that she had something important to discuss with you. She even said that it was a private matter, so..." "Private matter?" Qin Chu furrowed his brows slightly and put down the documents in his hands. "Let her in." Qin Chu wasn't familiar with Mo Schwetter, but he knew about her relationship with Hua Xiqian. Therefore he roughly knew what she wanted to discuss with him. Therefore he decided to let her in. Mo Schwerer wore 7-inch crystal heels and a bareback dark blue gown. She looked sexy and luxurious. She looked a lot better than before. She didn't look as haggard as she did a while ago. It was obvious that she wasn't affected by the negative news anymore. "It's so hard to see President Qin." "Huh." After Mo Schweger walked in, she sat down on the sofa. Then she took out a cigarette from her bag. Before she could light it up, Qin Chu stopped her. "Sorry, this is a non-smoking area." "Okay." Mo Schweger pouted helplessly. Then she looked up at Qin Chu with a smile. "President Qin, I'm here today to work with you." Chapter 2036. Work together? What do you mean? Qin Chu raised his head and asked coldly. "President Qin, you're a smart person. You should know what I mean. Even though I'm an artist, your company is no longer in the entertainment industry. So of course we can't work together," Mo Schweger explained with a smile. "Even if you're in the entertainment industry, we won't work together. I won't give an employee who betrayed me a second chance to betray me, Chinchu said word for word. Mo Shui's expression changed slightly. She knew what Chinchu meant. Not only did Mo Shui jump ship, but she also took many other artists with her. I didn't think President Qin would hold a grudge. This has nothing to do with holding a grudge. I'm just stating facts. I believe that I'm not the only one. No boss would accept an employee who repeatedly betrays them. So, I'm not interested in working with you. My time is precious. Miss Mo, please leave. It was obvious that Chinchu had no interest in talking to Mo Shui anymore. This woman's sarcastic tone really made people feel uncomfortable. President Qin, calm down. I haven't said anything yet. No matter what you say, I'm not interested. Chinchu was still as cold as ever as he cut off Mo Shui's words. What if I say that I can work with you against Huasiqian? You know, I've been by his side for many years. I know how he does things and I know a lot of his secrets. I also know that President Qin hates Huasiqian the most. So, can we work together to get rid of him? He's still injured and hasn't recovered yet. This is the perfect opportunity. What do you think? Mo Shui stated her goal in one breath. Chinchu didn't seem surprised at all. Perhaps he already thought of this when Mo Shui stepped through the door. I'm sorry, but I'm not interested in the personal grudges between Miss Mo and Huasiqian. Between me and Huasiqian, it's not something that can be explained with just a simple word. I don't need a woman who's not related to me to help me. Chinchu refused without hesitation. Chinchu, are you that confident in dealing with Huasiqian? You have no idea how terrifying he is. I've already experienced how terrifying he can be. There's no need for Miss Mo to remind me. But I can guarantee that you don't know. You don't even know that he has a scary side to him. Mo Shui paused. How is he? Chinchu raised his head and asked. Forget it. Since you don't want to cooperate with me, I won't say too much. Anyway, you'll definitely regret being so arrogant. But even if you don't cooperate with me, I can still slowly deal with him. Chinchu's refusal disappointed Mo Shui. She stood up angrily, grabbed her bag and walked out the door. Chinchu didn't think much of it and continued to work. He didn't want to work with Suyu in the first place, and now he definitely wouldn't work with a cunning woman. He had to deal with Huasiqian himself. He had to take revenge with his own hands. Inside the high-end sports hall, Pudding was so good at bowling that a lot of people came to watch. Qin Ning twisted open a bottle of water and drank it. She was a little proud of her niece's performance. Oh my god, this kid is a genius. How old is she? Someone asked. She's only 3 years old, Qin Ning replied proudly. Oh my god, she's only 3 years old. Is she really your daughter? Someone asked Qin Ning. She was so angry that she almost spat out her water. Chapter 2037. How is that possible? I'm not married yet. She's my niece, okay? Qin Ning rolled her eyes at her older brother. Not far away, Tang Chuan, who hadn't been seen in a long time, walked in with a young model with a small waist and big breasts. Tang Chuan was also a sports enthusiast. He liked to play basketball and golf. When the weather was bad, he would also come indoors to play badminton, table tennis and bowling. During the marriage alliance, Tang Chuan stubbornly endured it. Seeing that he was stubborn, his family began to give up on him. Tang Chuan continued to spend his days flirting with girls and indulging in a life of luxury. What's going on? There are so many people here. Is there a fight? As soon as Tang Chuan walked in, he saw a group of people gathered together. No, young Master Tang. President Qin's youngest daughter is here. She's bowling really well, a male manager said carefully. President Qin's youngest daughter? Could they be twins? Tang Chuan had gone on a trip with a group of beauties around the world with a few super-rich second-generation heirs. They had been to 17 countries and traveled for many days. They had just returned to Sea City less than 2 days ago. He didn't know that the twins were kidnapped, so when he heard that the twins might be here, he was quite happy. Yes, they are twins. But only one came today. Only one? Let me see. Is it Pudding or Little Bean? Tang Chuan gossiped as he walked over with his female companion. Pudding had just finished throwing the last ball in her hand. It was beautiful. Applause sounded from all around. Qin Ning squatted down and wiped the sweat off Pudding's forehead with a tissue. Then she opened a bottle of mineral water and fed it to Pudding. Thank you, Auntie. Pudding reached out her chubby little hand and pinched Qin Ning's face. Tang Chuan pushed through the crowd and walked in. Before he could say anything, he froze. This was because he saw a beautiful woman in a pink sports t-shirt and black sweatpants. She was squatting on the ground and feeding Pudding water. Her body was perfect, with big breasts and a small waist. Most importantly, her face was beautiful. She was so beautiful that she only had light makeup on her face. When she smiled, her eyes turned into crescents and the corners of her mouth turned sweet. Although he only saw the side of his face, Tang Chuan's heart skipped a beat. Isn't this Uncle Tang? Hi, long time no see. Pudding turned her head to look at Tang Chuan and greeted him with a smile. Hearing Pudding's greeting, Qin Ning turned her head and glanced at him. She didn't recognize him, so she turned back. For the first time, Tang Chuan realized that he was so nervous that he couldn't even speak properly. What? Is it because we haven't seen each other for so long that you can't even speak properly? Pudding laughed. You're so eloquent. You must be Pudding. Tang Chuan came to his senses and walked over with a smile. Of course, Pudding said proudly. Where's Little Bean? Why didn't she come out to play with you? Tang Chuan was puzzled. She's at home. There are guests at home, and you know that my sister doesn't like to exercise. You're right. Hey Pudding, who's this little beauty? Introduce her. Tang Chuan's eyes never left Qin Ning as he spoke. Qin Ning didn't care. She kept her head down and wiped the sweat off her hands with a tissue. My aunt Qin Ning. Your aunt? You have an aunt? How come I didn't know? Tang Chuan's interest was piqued when he heard that Qin Ning was Qin Chu's sister. There are a lot of things you don't know. You're not as close to us as handsome Su is, Pudding said proudly. But speaking of which, is everyone in the Qin family this good-looking? Tang Chuan was definitely a rich young master who had seen all kinds of beauties since he was young. But he had to admit that he was still shocked when he first saw Qin Ning. There was no need to say much about Qin Ning's delicate features, but her unique temperament made it easy for people to be mesmerized. Uncle Tang, you're so direct with your compliments. Don't tell me you like my aunt? Pudding stared at Tang Chuan and asked directly. Chapter 2038. Ahem ahem. Tang Chuan coughed violently. Pudding, don't talk nonsense. Qin Ning pinched her niece's cheeks in embarrassment. I'm serious, Andy. Look at Uncle Tang. He's handsome and rich, but he's always flirting with girls since he was young. He's an expert at flirting with girls. A naive girl like you who has no experience in love is no match for him. Let's go. Pudding pulled Qin Ning away. Tang Chuan immediately stopped them from accepting him. Hey Pudding, calm down. Don't be in such a hurry to leave. I understand that you don't like me, but you have to give the pretty girl next to you a chance to get to know me. My auntie doesn't need to know you because nothing will happen between you and her. There will only be accidents. Tang Chuan was speechless. Qin Ning was speechless. Plus, you have a girl next to you and you're flirting with her. You don't have any SEI. Pudding glanced at the pretty girl next to Tang Chuan. Tang Chuan immediately lowered his head and said something to the girl. Although the girl looked reluctant, she still turned around and left. Pudding, it's rare to see you. How about I treat you to Haagen-Dazs? Tang Chuan smiled. You're that generous? Pudding looked up. I've always been generous. So you still want to flirt with my auntie, right? Pudding returned to the topic. Tang Chuan was about to answer. Pudding continued aggressively. Don't tell me you're not. A man who doesn't even have the guts to tell the truth is the most useless. Fuck you, little brat, are you going to sue me? I'm not afraid of that. I'll tell you the truth. But I just want to flirt with your auntie. Tang Chuan's words made Qin Ning speechless. Qin Ning didn't even know who this person was or where he came from. Why was he talking to Pudding about flirting with her? Qin Ning thought that this was ridiculous. Sir, my niece was just joking. Please don't mind her, Qin Ning explained with a smile. She was embarrassed. Beautiful lady, I'm serious. I'm not joking. I really do like you. Qin Ning, so? Qin Ning was dumbfounded. So, I want to ask you a question. Tang Chuan looked at Qin Ning mysteriously. Ask away. Do you believe in love at first sight? Tang Chuan asked in an emotional tone. Qin Ning didn't know how to answer. Stop, let me interrupt. I've never thought of love at first sight as love. Instead, I think love at first sight is about the face. As long as you're good-looking and stunning enough, you have the capital to make people fall in love with you at first sight, right? So, Can I take it that you're attracted to my aunt's good looks, Uncle Tang? And then shamelessly flirt with her? Pudding analyzed calmly. Yes, you're right. You can put it that way, Tang Chuan admitted shamelessly. Then I'm sorry. You don't have a chance. My aunt has already been booked, Pudding said proudly. Booked? Who in Sea City dares to steal someone from Mr. Tang? Are they tired of living? Tang Chuan was irritated. He hadn't liked someone at first sight for so many years. The little girl was already taken. He was very upset. It's good that you're confident. But do you think you can win against handsome Su? Pudding smiled evilly. Lord Su? No way. Tang Chuan was not willing to accept this cruel reality, so he cursed out loud. Pudding. Qin Ning didn't want Pudding to continue. After all, she and Su Yu hadn't even started dating yet. Was it really okay to spread rumors like this? Would Su Yu be disgusted? Auntie, don't be afraid. I did leave you with handsome Su from the beginning. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Lord Su agreed. Tang Chuan obviously didn't believe Pudding. Chapter 2039. Of course I'll agree. Pudding tried to beat around the bush. I don't believe you. Don't lie to me. Pudding, I'm telling you, lying kids get spanked. Tang Chuan and Su Yu were so close that there was no way he didn't know that Su Yu had a new girlfriend. Plus, Su Yu was deeply in love with Hua Min, so he didn't believe that Su Yu would fall in love with Qin Chu's little sister and have to call Hua Min sister-in-law. No matter how dumb he was, he should be able to understand something like this. Although this is just my personal opinion and they haven't met yet, I'll try my best to set them up. So, Uncle Tang, you don't have to get involved. Go on with your girl. Then Pudding grabbed Qin Ning's hand and walked out. Qin Ning felt very embarrassed and kept her head down. When she walked past Tang Chuan, she covered half of her face. Tang Chuan finally realized that the twins wanted to set Su Yu up with this girl. No wonder. It seemed like he had to go to Lord Su's house tonight and talk to Lord Su. At the same time, at Southside Recuperation Center, when Hua Min came out of the operating room, it was already 5 p.m. Sun Dehai's mother was seriously ill and had been in a small hospital for a long time, so the chances of surgery weren't high. Several neurosurgery department directors invited Hua Min to participate in the surgery. In the end, the surgery was a success. When Hua Min came out of the operating room, it was already 6 p.m. She was tired and hungry, but she was still very happy. It had been a long time since she felt like a workaholic. She even took the time to post a selfie on her WeChat with a white coat and black-rimmed glasses. She wrote, "Today was a busy day and I'm thankful that I'm back in the past. Zhu Lingling, Dr. Hua is mighty and domineering. Jiang Xiaowei, hug me to sleep, thank you. Xixin, sis, you're the most beautiful angel in white." Hua Min replied to Xixin, "White angel is a nurse. I'm a doctor, okay? And Ayong, sis, all the best. Take care of yourself." Su Yu just silently gave a thumbs up because he didn't know what to say. If he said too much, he was afraid that everyone would think too much. If she said too little, she was afraid that Hua Min would feel that she was alienating herself, so she just gave him a like. It had been a long time since he had seen Hua Min in a white lab coat. When Su Yu saw this photo, he actually felt excited. In his mind, he even recalled the first time he had met Hua Min. At that time, he was still the insufferably arrogant young master of the Su family, an arrogant and irritable patient. At that time, she was still a fledgling doctor. She was barbaric and domineering, making Su Yu suffer all day long. Now that so many things had happened, Hua Min still could not forget his original intention: let go of everything and go back to being a doctor with a peace of mind. He had to admit that this woman was very open-minded. Qin Chu commented below, "Dr. Hua, thank you for your hard work. I'll be at the door. You can come out when you're done. I'll take you to dinner." "Oh honey, you're here. I'll be right out. See you in a bit. The person above me is showing off their love again. It's so annoying. My stinky police officer is still working overtime. He won't even call me." Zhu Lingling was jealous. Hua Min took off his lab coat and put on a wine-red cape and a white hat. He looked very cute. When she walked out, she immediately saw Qin Chu's Maybach parked in the most obvious spot. "Mr. Qin, how long have you been here?" Hua Min knocked on the car window. Chapter 2040. I just got here. You didn't come back, so I called home to tell you that you didn't come back. I knew you were working overtime. What are we going to eat? Huamin got into the passenger seat and asked excitedly, "How about Uxin's ramen?" Qin Chu tilted his head and looked at her with a smile. "That's awesome, honey, I love you." Huamin happily kissed Qin Chu on the cheek. Qin Chu smiled. "Love isn't something you say, you have to do it." He thought that after saying this Huamin would cover her face and blush. To his surprise Huamin generously retorted, Okay, let's have car sex, come on." Car sex. This time it was Mr. Qin's turn to be speechless. "What's wrong? Are you scared?" Huamin asked. "Scared? Why would I be? Madam, you must be joking. What I mean is, I didn't think that Madam would still be in the mood after working all day. If I knew we were going to have car sex, I would have driven an SUV. After all, this car is too small and can't stretch out. I can't unlock too many new positions." "Unlock new positions? Hey, Mr. Qin, you win." Huamin wanted to be calm. She wanted to see who was more perverted than Mr. Qin, but she didn't need to. It was obvious that she wasn't good enough. He had been defeated so easily. Along the way, Huamin listened to the soft music and suddenly felt that life was so beautiful. "Honey, are you tired today?" "Yeah, I did surgery on Sun Dehai's mother this afternoon. I really couldn't take it, I haven't held a scalpel in a while." "How was it? Was the surgery successful?" "Not bad. As for the rest of the treatment, it depends on the patient's physical fitness and willpower." "Awesome, I'll give you a thumbs up." Qin Chu really liked Huamin's attitude when she was working seriously. The two drove for about 20 minutes and arrived at the alley behind Second High. Many students were eating Oxan's ramen at this time. It was just before the evening self-study session. "Boss, 2 bowls of ramen." Qin Chu walked in and found a seat. The two of them sat facing each other and looked at the furnishings that had not changed over the years, as well as the bright Second High School. Instantly, he felt as if he had transmigrated. "Mr. Qin, Mrs. Qin, you're here. Where are the children?" The owner was very familiar with their family. Huamin smiled. "The kids aren't here. We haven't eaten yet after work, so we passed by. You are really lucky. These 2 children are very smart and sensible." The boss praised. Huamin smiled and said no more. "Emo Schweger came looking for me today." Qin Chu recalled what happened during the day and chatted with Huamin. "Emo Schweger? Why is she looking for you?" Huamin was stunned. He said it's a collaboration. "She wants to work with you to deal with Hua Xiqian." Huamin immediately understood Emo Schweiger's intentions. Qin Chu nodded. This woman really changes her mind faster than flipping through a book. She used to say how much she loved him, but now that he's down she wants to hit him when he's down. She has the Xiang family behind her, right? Why would she want to work with us? Isn't that unnecessary? Although the Xiang family is powerful, it's not enough to shake Hua Xiqian's foundation. She knows about the grudge between me and Hua Xiqian, so she wants to persuade me to work with her. It seems like this time she wants to kill Hua Xiqian as well," Qin Chu analyzed. Huamin shook his head. "That's not necessarily true. Emo Schwerer is very fickle. Maybe she and Hua Xiqian are just putting on a show. We shouldn't trust her. Even if she provides us with evidence, we don't know if it's true." Huamin hated Emo Schwerer, so he strongly doubted her character. "Yeah, I refused. Even if she really wants to work with me, I won't agree. I don't need anyone's help. Plus, I don't think anyone can deal with Hua Xiqian other than me." Mr. Qin turned on his Tsundra mode again. "Hey honey, look who's there." Huamin suddenly saw a luxury car parked outside. Huamin was surprised to see the person who got out of the car. She patted Qin Chu and pointed outside. Chapter 2041. Qin Chu looked in the direction that Huamin was pointing and saw a man and a woman getting out of a black Range Rover. The man was Wei Dong, whom Huamin hadn't seen in a long time. He was Qin Chu and Huamin's classmate. Huamin also knew the woman. She was a girl named Qi Hong from the class next door. She was the prettiest girl in the class next door back in the day. She was very pretty and now she looked very fashionable and beautiful. She was wearing a white mink coat and had a great figure. Wei Dong hugged the woman's shoulder intimately. They got out of the car and walked towards Oxin's ramen. However, when Wei Dong saw Qin Chu and Huamin sitting inside, he was stunned. "You guys are eating here too?" Wei Dong was a little embarrassed. He didn't expect to see his classmates here, so he didn't know how to react. "Yeah." Qin Chu didn't say anything and Huamin nodded to avoid awkwardness. "Oh, then you guys eat. I'll just walk around with my friend. Wei Dong was a little embarrassed as he turned around and left with the woman. The woman whispered, "Who is he? Do you know him?" "Who mean Qin Chu? You don't know him." Wei Dong lowered his voice. "Qin Chu? Who mean oh my god." When the woman heard that he was the most famous person in school, she immediately turned around to take a second look. Why are they together? Huamin felt that it was very strange. What's wrong? He hung. I heard from Lingling that she's been married for a few years. She married into a county under our jurisdiction. I heard that the man's father is the county mayor, and his family is quite powerful. I didn't hear anything about divorce, so why is she together with Wei Dong? Huamin muttered to himself. Who said that you have to divorce to be together? Honey, you're still so innocent. I know a little about Wei Dong. Something happened to his family a while ago and he ran away for a while. Now that he's back in the game, someone must have helped him. Maybe it was Chi Hong who pulled the strings. Men and women don't always get together for love. Mion, you're always thinking too highly of things, but how can there be so many beautiful things in this world? Qin Chu's understanding of human nature, so he calmly analyzed the situation. Huamin suddenly understood. If that's the case, then it makes sense. There was a time when Wei Dong wanted to borrow money from me, but I didn't lend it to him. Later on he hated me because of that, and now it's very awkward when we meet. That's the right thing to do. Wei Dong, it's better not to interact with him. I don't like how he conducts himself. Qin Chu's opinion of Wei Dong had always been bad. Previously he pitted Huamin for a long time, and even threatened Huamin to get engaged to him with the money he used to pay for Jixin's surgery. When Qin Chu found out about it, he immediately stepped in and suppressed Wei Dong's thoughts. From then on, Wei Dong never dared to mention it again. It was just a small interlude, and Huamin and Qin Chu continued eating and chatting. Inside the Land Rover, the woman named Chi Hong deliberately teased, "You mentioned Huamin, I remember now. Isn't she the cold goddess of your class? Didn't you chase after her with all your might? How come you didn't end up with her?" Huamin is never short of admirers. Ah, when will it ever be my turn? Wei Dong laughed. Oh, you're so jealous. Chi Hong pouted. Wei Dong immediately reached out and touched her chin. No one can compare to you. Baby, you're still the most beautiful. You know how to make me happy. On the other side, after Su Yu got off work, Tang Chuan hurriedly drove to his private mansion. Lord Su, come out, it's urgent. Tang Chuan was in a hurry. Su Yu had just taken off his jacket when he turned around. What? Chapter 2042. Lord Su, do you know Qin Chu's little sister? Tang Chuan couldn't wait to ask. Qin Chu's little sister? Qin Ning? Su Yu looked at him in confusion. Oh, so that girl's name is Qin Ning. Tang Chuan smiled like a love-struck fool. It made Su Yu want to slap him. Why are you smiling like an idiot? How do you know Qin Ning? Su Yu took out 2 cans of Coke from the fridge. He handed one to Tang Chuan and opened the other for himself. Then he sat down on the sofa and picked up the remote control to play some soft music. Qin Chu has such a beautiful little sister. Why didn't you tell me earlier? You're such a bad buddy, aren't you? Tang Chuan complained. I didn't notice before. If it weren't for Pudding and Little Bean talking to me about their auntie, I really wouldn't have known. So you told him the truth. Don't you think Qin Ning is super beautiful? Her face, her body, and her proportions are. Tang Chuan became more and more excited as he spoke. When did you see her? Su Yu asked calmly when he saw the love-struck look on Tang Chuan's face. Today at the bowling alley. Pudding was bowling with her. Oh my god. I was shocked the moment I saw them. Did you know that? She's a pure European beauty. She's clean and beautiful with light makeup. Her body is perfect. She's got big boobs and a big butt. She must have felt good. Fine. Don't give me that useless crap. If you want to date her, you can't date her. Su Yu warned. What? You like her? Tang Chuan asked tentatively. What do you mean I like her? I don't even know her that well. I just don't think she's an outsider. She's Qin Chu's little sister and Pudding and Little Bean's auntie. It's not good for you to date her. Just tell me if you want to date her or not. Don't give me that useless crap. Tang Chuan took a big gulp of Coke and asked seriously. Are you kidding me? Why would I date her? Su Yu was confused. I heard from Pudding that she wants to set you up with her. Tang Chuan smirked. You believe a kid's words? Are you a fucking 3-year-old? Suyu cursed at Tang Chuan. Haha, so young Master Su, are you saying you're not interested in Qingning anymore? It's not your cup of tea, is it? Tang Chuan's voice was tinged with excitement. Suyu didn't even pay attention to Tang Chuan's mind. Young Master Su, can you be serious? It's related to my marriage. Tang Chuan was anxious when he saw Suyu's nonchalant attitude. I'm serious. I'm not interested in her. She's really not my type, okay? How pretty she is has nothing to do with me, okay? Suyu was annoyed by Tang Chuan. Great, then I'm going to start dating her. Tang Chuan showed a proud expression. Do whatever you want. If you can date her. Suyu didn't think Qingning was that easy to date. He advised Tang Chuan not to be too perfect. Don't worry. Leave it to my dad. By the way, Lord Su, do you believe in love at first sight? Tang Chuan asked this question for the second time today. No, I don't. I believe in love over time, Suyu answered honestly. You're right. Love over time. Tang Chuan nodded in agreement. That's not what I meant. You're so fucking dirty. Suyu thought he was very innocent and his topic was beautiful. However, in the mouth of the king of filth, Tang Chuan, everything beautiful instantly changed. Haha, I'm just teasing you. I just wanted to tell you that I like Qingning. I fell in love with her at first sight. Then it's no use telling me. You should tell Qingning. Suyu wasn't surprised. Tang Chuan could change more than 10 women in a month. So Suyu didn't want to say too much to a playboy like him. Lord Su, give me Qingning's WeChat. I'll add her. Tang Chuan took out his phone, full of anticipation. Chapter 2043. Qingning's WeChat. I really don't have it. Suyu really didn't have Qingning's WeChat. They really didn't know each other well. Why did it seem like the whole world knew what he and Qingning were talking about? In fact, there really wasn't anything between them. If you don't believe me, give it to me. Bro, right? Tang Chuan was really anxious. Suyu took out his phone, unlocked it and threw it over. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Tang Chuan picked up Suyu's phone and immediately opened his WeChat contact list. Sure enough, Qingning's profile picture wasn't on it. Most importantly, Suyu only had 3 women on his WeChat. They were Huomin, Pudding and Little Bean. He didn't even add Jian Tong and the other female artists on WeChat. It was obvious that Suyu's temper was really, fuck. You really don't have it. Do you believe me now? Suyu reached out to take back his phone. However, Tang Chuan dodged it. Give me your phone. No rush. Wait, I'll use it. Then Tang Chuan picked up his phone and sent a WeChat message to Little Bean. He wrote, send me Qingning's WeChat. I'll add her. He was supposed to send it to Pudding, but Tang Chuan thought that Pudding was too smart. If he exposed himself, it would be over. In the end, he realized that he had underestimated Little Bean. Little Bean didn't completely believe him either. Instead, she sent a voice message saying, Are you handsome, Su? Tang Chuan immediately replied, Of course. Then say something for me. Little Bean ordered. Tang Chuan was speechless. He picked up his phone and showed it to Suyu. Look, these two are so smart. I purposely chose Little Bean, who is not very smart. I didn't expect it to work. Quick, help me send a voice message. Suyu rolled his eyes at Tang Chuan and said, Who said Little Bean isn't smart? She may look dumb and cute, but she's just as smart as Pudding. You're really giving me trouble. Although Suyu didn't say anything, he still replied to Little Bean with a voice message. Little Bean, it's me. Handsome Su, why do you suddenly want my auntie's WeChat? Are you in love with her? No, I just thought that since we're friends we should add each other, Suyu said perfunctorily. Oh, I see. I thought it was Uncle Tang who was threatening you, Little Bean mumbled to herself. Not only Suyu but Tang Chuan was also shocked. Did this little girl have some kind of supernatural ability? How did she know? Why do you say that? Suyu still replied with a voice message. Because my sister said that when she went bowling with my auntie today she bumped into Uncle Tang. When he saw my auntie he looked at her like a fly staring at a rotten egg. Oh no, that's not the right analogy. It was like a dung beetle looking at a dung ball. I suspect that he wants to hit on my auntie, so I'm wondering if he used your phone to trick me. After hearing Little Bean's words, Tang Chuan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He thought to himself, a dung beetle looking at a dung ball is worse than a fly staring at a rotten egg. What kind of words was this kid using? It was driving him crazy. Suyu tried hard not to laugh and asked in all seriousness, if Uncle Tang saw your auntie, would you guys agree? Of course not. Handsome Su, do you even need to ask? Little Bean answered without hesitation. Why not? Your Uncle Tang is handsome, rich, and considerate. He's much more understanding than I am, Suyu teased Little Bean. Chapter 2044. While Suyu was praising Tang Chuan was counting his ears as he listened to Suyu. From time to time he would play along and stroke his hair. However, when he heard Little Bean's funny reply, he couldn't stay calm anymore. Little Bean said, Handsome Su, you don't have to explain for Uncle Tang. After knowing him for so long, my sister and I have always thought that he's just a handsome, rich, and stud horse. Stud horse? Hey Little Bean, don't say that again. You're not a kid. Your mommy will go crazy if she finds out. Suyu almost peed his pants from laughing. What does that have to do with my mommy? Don't change the topic. We're talking about Uncle Tang. Could it be that I'm wrong? Look at him, he's so young but he looks like he has weak kidneys. It's all because he's been flirting with too many girls. How can our auntie, a pure and innocent girl, be with someone like him? It'll ruin her life. Little Bean said reasonably. Suyu laughed so hard that tears almost came out of his eyes. He lay on the sofa and laughed hysterically. What are you laughing at? Look at this little bastard. He's going to pay with his life for insulting me. This was the first time Tang Chuan heard the twins talk about him like that. He felt like he had nothing left to live for. Then why should I give it to you? It's because you're too ridiculous, Suyu said with a smile. You've known me for so many years, don't you know me? I'm known as a playboy, but most of the time I'm just putting on a show. I haven't really slept with anyone. I'm not a stud horse and my kidneys aren't that good. Otherwise I would have been impotent a long time ago. Tang Chuan felt like he had been wronged. The twins had a bad impression of him which led to his impotence. Now he had no hope of falling in love with their auntie. Cut the crap. Give me Qin Ning's WeChat, Tang Chuan urged Suyu. Are you serious? If you want to flirt with girls then forget it. Qin Ning's identity is really unsuitable. Plus you might not be able to handle it. Suyu felt that if Tang Chuan wanted to play he shouldn't look for Qin Ning. If Huamin knew that he was flirting with his sister-in-law, wouldn't he scold him to death? I'm not joking. I'm not just playing around. Tang Chuan repeated. Suyu had no choice but to ask shamelessly, Little Bean, can you send me a WeChat message now? Sure, wait a moment. Then Little Bean took out her phone and looked mysteriously at Qin Ning, who had just come out of the shower. Handsome Su asked for your WeChat ID, should I give it to him? Ah? Did Suyu ask for my WeChat? Qin Ning felt a little embarrassed. Little Bean smirked. I'll give it to him then. Qin Ning didn't know if it was because the twins had talked too much about Suyu, but she subtly changed her mind. Or maybe it was because Qin Chu said yesterday that they weren't suitable for each other that made her rebellious. Anyway, she was actually looking forward to it. Would there be a different story between her and Suyu? After Qin Ning nodded, Little Bean immediately sent Qin Ning's WeChat ID to Suyu's phone. Suyu glanced at it and symbolically added it. Then he immediately forwarded the card to Tang Chuan. Okay, I sent it to you. Ha, thank you, Lord Su. Thank you. Then Tang Chuan immediately picked up his phone, put on his jacket and left. You're leaving after using me? Suyu watched as Tang Chuan walked out. What else can I do? Should I stay the night with you? Tang Chuan smirked. Chapter 2045. Go away, don't disgust me. I'm going to bed, I'm too tired. Suyu didn't want to argue with him. He picked up a pillow and lay down on the sofa watching TV. After leaving Suyu's mansion, Tang Chuan drove back to his house and turned on his phone eagerly. Sure enough, Qin Ning accepted his friend request. Qin Ning was confused. Little Bean said that Suyu wanted to add her, but now there were two more people who wanted to add her. Because Suyu's profile picture wasn't his, she wasn't sure which one was. She added both of them. After adding them, she checked her WeChat moments and saw that one was Suyu and the other was the guy she saw at the bowling alley today. Hi Qin Ning, I'm Tang Chuan. Tang Chuan took the initiative to talk to her. Qin Ning, hi. Tang Chuan, what are you doing? Have you eaten? Qin Ning, I have. Tang Chuan, okay, I wanted to treat you to something good. This isn't your first time in Sea City, right? Qin Ning, no. Tang Chuan, You've been living in the States all this time? Qin Ning, yes. No matter what Tang Chuan asked, Qin Ning would answer obediently. However, she didn't say much, which made her seem distant. Tang Chuan didn't think this tactic worked, so he immediately asked, ever since Huamin gave birth to the twins, so you and I have been very close to them. We're really close to them. Really? I've always heard them mention Su Yu's name, Qin Ning recalled. Is it because I'm more handsome than Lord Su? That's why they get shy when they mention me, Tang Chuan said narcissistically. Qin Ning, how did you get my WeChat? Qin Ning didn't forget to ask. Oh, that Lord Su gave it to me. Tang Chuan lied without blushing. Su gave it to you? Qin Ning was a little disappointed. She thought that Su Yu was interested in her. Now it seemed that he was trying to give her WeChat to this man named Tang Chuan. For a moment Qin Ning's heart sank. She looked at Su Yu's WeChat profile picture and sent him a WeChat message. You and Little Bean asked for my WeChat number because you wanted to give it to that person. Su Yu was watching TV when he received a WeChat message. He looked down and saw that it was from Qin Ning. He was quite surprised. He's the one who kept bothering me and asking for your number. Qin Ning saw that Su Yu had acquiesced and suddenly didn't know what to say. Are you busy? Qin Ning asked after a while. Watching TV, Su Yu replied. Oh, take a look then. The more they talked about this topic, the more awkward it would be. So Qin Ning decided to stop talking to Su Yu. She was no longer interested in answering Tang Chuan's passionate questions. I'm a little tired, I'm going to bed now. Her polite and courteous words made Tang Chuan give up on the idea of continuing the conversation. Qin Ning dried her hair in the bathroom and came downstairs in a bathrobe. The whole family was downstairs either watching TV or playing with their phones. Auntie, are you in a bad mood? Pudding looked up at Qin Ning. Of course not, I'm in a good mood. I feel like you have something on your mind. Pudding felt that Qin Ning's mood was a little different from usual. Little girl, you're too sensitive. I'm fine. Qin Ning went downstairs and touched Pudding's face. Pudding leaned over mysteriously. Auntie, did you talk to Handsome Su on WeChat? Oh, we talked for a bit, Qin Ning told the truth. How was it? How was it? Were there any sparks? Pudding continued to gossip. No sparks, but I was a little angry. Qin Ning smiled. Angry? Did you fight with Handsome Su? Pudding was surprised. Chapter 2046. No. I don't even know him that well. Why would we fight? Qin Ning chuckled. At this moment Pudding heard them and said loudly, Auntie, you and Handsome Su added each other on WeChat. Congratulations. Her voice was loud, so both Qin Chu and Huamin heard her. Ning and Su Yu added each other on WeChat? Huamin was surprised. She didn't know that the twins wanted to set Qin Ning and Su Yu up. He just thought it was too sudden. Qin Chu glanced at Pudding. Pudding, your auntie is an adult. She can handle her own personal matters. You and your sister shouldn't get involved. Daddy, we didn't. We respect auntie's wishes. Pudding argued. Ning, are you interested in Su Yu? Huamin asked. Qin Ning's face turned red in front of so many people. Mommy, aren't you being too direct? Pudding complained. Huamin smiled. We're all family. There's nothing to hide. He is a good guy. But are you sure he's your type? Huamin knew Su Yu too well. So, like Qin Chu, she didn't think they would be a good match. Although both of them were excellent, if they ended up together, it would be hard to tell what would happen. Plus, Su Yu was rumored to have a girlfriend, Jian Tong. So Huamin didn't want Qin Ning to get involved. He was afraid that Jian Tong would set her eyes on him and cause some trouble. Sis-in-law, I'm not really interested. I'm not that close with Su Yu. I've only met him a few times and I think he's a good guy. We're just friends. Don't think too much, really, Qin Ning explained awkwardly. It's okay. We understand. It's good for young people to make more friends. If you're interested, you can take the initiative. As long as the other person is a good person, your brother and I will support you. Forget it. You two can meet as friends first. You'll slowly understand what kind of person he is. I won't say much. Huamin didn't want to interfere with Qin Ning's logic. I'll say it again. Pudding and Little Bean, don't mess with your auntie. Qin Chu realized that his daughter's trying to set Pudding and Su Yu first. To be honest, he didn't agree to it. Qin Chu knew how deep Su Yu's feelings for Huamin were. He didn't think that Su Yu would easily accept Qin Ning and face Huamin in the future. He was also afraid that Qin Ning would be hurt if she didn't get a response from Suyu. After all, she had no experience in love. Daddy, we didn't. Also, you seem to have a problem with handsome Su. Is it because you two used to be rivals in love? Little Bean said without thinking. Qin Ning finally understood the key point. She looked at Qin Chu and then at Huimin in surprise. She suddenly remembered that Suyu had liked her sister-in-law for many years. He was the man who would replace her brother if he didn't come. She actually forgot about such an important thing. All she thought about was how outstanding Suyu was. She didn't realize that the person he loved was her sister-in-law, Huimin. You two don't talk nonsense. Huimin was a little angry. Although Qin Chu didn't care about Suyu's feelings for her, it was still very unpleasant for the child to suddenly say something like that. Putting Little Bean, this has nothing to do with whether Daddy is biased against Suyu or not. Daddy is looking at the pros and cons from your auntie's perspective. After all, you two are still children. A lot of things aren't that simple. Qin Chu explained patiently so that his daughter wouldn't misunderstand. Huimin was just about to scold his daughter when his phone rang. Mian, I have something to tell you. Are you free to talk now? Jiang Shaowei asked mysteriously when Huimin picked up the phone. Chapter 2047. Okay, go ahead. Slightly. Huimin could sense the caution in Jiang Shaowei's voice. Then he picked up his cell phone and walked upstairs, avoiding his family downstairs. Mian, are you and Hui Yanyan close? Jiang Shaowei asked. Hui Yanyan and I have never been close. I helped her twice when she was bullied. Then when my daughter was kidnapped, it was thanks to Hui Yanyan that Pudding was able to escape and inform my husband. She's still recovering from her injuries and our daughter is still at home. To be honest, I'm very grateful to her, Huimin said honestly. Oh, I see. Jiang Shaowei looked thoughtful. What's wrong? Slightly. Huimin asked. You know my sister-in-law, right? Wei Ying? Huimin raised an eyebrow. Yeah, she's probably going to get a divorce soon. Our family is in chaos. My husband has been coming back to the Wei family's mansion for meetings every day, and he's been telling me this and that. It's giving me a headache. Wei Ying is getting a divorce? Are you serious? She just got married not long ago and she doesn't have kids. In Huimin's memory, the marriage alliance between the Wei family and the Shen family had caused a sensation in the city and attracted attention from all walks of life. Wei Ying and Shen Mingxi were called the golden couple of high society. One was so handsome that even gods would envy, and the other was so beautiful that she could topple a city. She had thought that this was a marriage that couldn't be more stable, but she didn't expect that in less than 3 years, it would change beyond recognition. It's because they don't have kids that they want a divorce. If they had a baby they wouldn't have. Jiang Shaowei sighed. Then who's infertile? That's why. Huimin's thought process was simpler. No, both of them have been checked. There's no problem. It's just that. Jiang Shaowei stuttered. I a big sister, don't tell me. I'm dying of anxiety. If you have something to say it quickly. I heard that the Shen family's boy doesn't really touch my sister-in-law. They rarely sleep on the same bed. My sister-in-law is very angry from staying in an empty room. That's why this incident blew up. They quarreled and in the end they asked for a divorce. I don't think so. Wei Ying was unruly, but didn't she say she loved young Master Shen? How did it end up like this? Huimin felt a little regretful. I heard from my husband that this incident seems to be related to Hui Yanyan. It has something to do with Hui Yanyan? Are you serious? Huimin was a little scared. Yeah, Wei Ying cried her eyes out at home. She kept saying that she wouldn't let that vixen Hui Yanyan off the hook. My husband came back and told me about the situation. I think you might know something. Do you think Hui Yanyan and young Master Shen really have something going on? Really? In terms of looks and wealth, I don't think even Hui Yanyan can compare to Ying Ying. Plus, Hui Yanyan is a down-and-out young woman with a child. Young Master Shen wouldn't do something like that, right? Jiang Shaowei found it unbelievable. Speaking of which, I remember something, Huimin said calmly. What is it? That day when I went to the hospital to visit Hui Yanyan, I saw young Master Shen coming to visit her with flowers in his hand. I don't know if there's anything going on between them, but I'm sure they do. Otherwise, with young Master Shen's personality, he wouldn't have taken the initiative to visit a woman. Another time, a long time ago, I ran into some of your sister-in-law's best friends in a shopping mall. They pulled Hui Yanyan's hair and hit her. I think they found some clues. But I don't think it's true. Maybe young Master Shen took pity on Hu Yanyan. After all, she went from being a rich young lady to a down-and-out young woman. It's quite sad. So if you ask me, I can't say. After all, I didn't see what happened between them with my own eyes. Hu Min didn't hide anything from Jiang Shaowei. He took the initiative to tell Jiang Shaowei everything he saw and heard. Chapter 2048. You have a point. Anyways, they're definitely going to divorce. The Wei family is in chaos right now. You know, once the marriage is dissolved, the cooperation between the two families will be dissolved as well. Yeah, it's a big loss. Do you know who proposed the divorce? Hu Min was curious. He had only met Shen Mingxi a few times, but he had heard about him a lot. He was friends with Su Yu and had helped Hu Min raise money, so they knew each other. Hu Min didn't know what the quiet man was thinking. But if the two of them divorced, the Wei family's business would be affected. Shaowei was the daughter-in-law of the Wei family, so it was normal for her to be worried. Of course it was Shen Mingxi who proposed it. Ying would never divorce him. She loves him so much and has had a crush on him for so many years. Okay, that's a tragedy. That kid has made up his mind. He gave Ying quite a bit of alimony and demanded a lot of compensation from the Wei family. Even though the Shen family didn't agree, they can't control their son right now. That kid is in charge of the Shen family, so the elders in the Shen family can't do anything about it. However, my sister-in-law has been causing trouble at home for a few days now. I think she might go and cause trouble for Hu Yanyan. If you have the chance to see Hu Yanyan, you should tell her to be careful. After all, it's too easy for my aunt to deal with her now. I know Hu Yanyan helped you this time, so I want to remind her out of kindness. Jiang Shaowei knew Wei Ying and knew she wouldn't give up so easily. Yeah, I'll talk to Hu Yanyan about it. Thank you, Wei Wei. Hey, you don't have to be so courteous with me. When are you off these few days? Let's get together and ask Lingling and her son out. We can go to the hot springs together and play with the children. Yunchu hasn't seen the twins in a long time and misses them too. Haha, aren't you afraid that my two she-devils will bully him? Hu Min laughed. Love and hate. Jiang Shaowei joked. Hu Min chuckled. After hanging up the phone with Jiang Shaowei, Hu Min returned to his room. Qin Chu also went upstairs to rest. The couple lay down and chatted about their daily life. They talked about the content of Jiang Shaowei's call. In the other room, Qin Ning wasn't in a good mood the whole night until it was time to sleep. Pudding took the opportunity to sneak into Qin Ning's room. Auntie, is she asleep? Not yet, Qin Ning said listlessly. Is there something on your mind? Oh, liar there is. It's because of handsome Su, right? Pudding could guess what her auntie was thinking. Pudding, please. Don't talk about him all the time. I'm so annoyed. Qin Ning had never been in a relationship before and didn't know what it felt like to like someone. She was just a little annoyed by the subtle changes in her relationship with Su Yu. Auntie, tell me, are you even a little bit interested in handsome Su? Pudding gossiped. It doesn't matter even if I am. Su Yu only loves my sister-in-law. I know that. When she thought about how Su Yu loved Hu Min for years, Qin Ning felt listless. She didn't have the confidence to make a man who loved another woman for years fall in love with her. Handsome Su likes my mommy a lot, but that was before. Ever since Daddy came back, he's retired. He won't have any fantasies about my mommy. Handsome Su is as good as Daddy and I don't want him to be single at this age. That scheming bitch Jian Tong isn't good enough for him, so I've been thinking about finding him a great girlfriend. And you're that great girl. You guys are a perfect match. Pudding said excitedly. However, at this moment Qin Ning was no longer in the mood. Chapter 2049. Pudding, I know you're doing this for Auntie's sake. You approve of Auntie's character, but relationships aren't that simple. Just because you think they're compatible doesn't mean they'll be happy together. It's like buying shoes, only the foot knows if they're compatible or not. You might be really good, but... forget it, I'm talking nonsense to a kid like you. Go to sleep, Auntie's going to sleep too. Qin Ning felt like the more she tried to explain, the more confused she became. She didn't think she could out-talk this two-faced Miss Pudding. Therefore she hurriedly pushed Pudding out of the room. Then she let out a long sigh. She lay on the big bed and was about to turn over to sleep when her phone rang. She opened it and saw that it was a WeChat transfer from Tang Chuan. The amount was 9,999 yuan. Qin Ning immediately rejected it and ignored Tang Chuan. Tang Chuan wanted to get closer to Qin Ning at home, so he used his trump card to pick up girls. When he didn't know what to say, he would send her a red packet or transfer her money directly. This trick worked every time. Even if she was a rich girl, she would still be happy to see him transfer money. After all, no one hated money, right? However, Qin Ning rejected it within a second, which made him feel a strong sense of defeat. The next morning, before Huamin went to work, he drove to the first hospital. In the ward, Hu Yanyan was able to move around and take care of herself. He talked to Hu Yanyan's doctor and estimated that she could be discharged in 3 days. Yang. Huamin walked over with his bag. Hey, Ban, you're here. Seeing Huamin, Hu Yanyan was very happy. How are you today? Does it still hurt? Huamin glanced at her ribs. It doesn't hurt anymore. I can do everything myself. I think I can be discharged today. Hu Yanyan was in good spirits. I can't do it today. I've talked to your doctor. The fastest I can do is in 3 days. Mian, how's Tian Tian at your house? Was she naughty? Did you bully them? Hu Yanyan asked worriedly. No, Tian Tian is very obedient. He plays very well with my two. Don't worry. That's good. Alright, Mian, I know you have a lot of connections. You're good friends with Chief Gao of the Municipal Public Security Bureau. Can you help me? After I get discharged, I want to see C. Hearing Hu Yanyan's words, Huamin's expression changed slightly. Is it difficult for you? I know. C is at fault and he deserves it, but I still want to see him. You know, he and my mom are my last family in the world. I can't contact my mom in Vietnam, but C is in there. If he needs anything, I want to send him clothes. After all, I'm still his sister. Hu Yanyan lowered her head in shame. Huamin took a deep breath and said slowly, Yan. It's not that I don't want you to see him, but Huamin paused. He didn't have the heart to continue. What happened to C? Hu Yanyan felt that something was wrong. She looked up at Huamin uneasily. Because you were recovering, I didn't dare to tell you. The truth is, Huasi is already dead. Huamin said word by word. When Hu Yanyan heard this, her entire body froze and her mind went blank. Impossible. I don't believe it, it can't be. Hu Yanyan muttered to herself in a daze. Chapter 2050. Yanyan, I'm not lying to you. True. After all, no one would dare to lie about something like this. Huamin reached out his hand to comfort Hu Yanyan. But how did he die? Wasn't he arrested by the police? He committed suicide in prison. When he was eating, he used a pair of chopsticks and pierced his own throat. I think he probably felt that there was no hope left for him and didn't want to spend the rest of his life in prison. You know, Huasi's crime this time was very serious. If he was sentenced, he would be in prison for at least 20 years. He's almost 30 years old now and will be in his 50s in 20 years. By then, he would have no hope left, but he shouldn't have died so suddenly. Hu Yanyan squatted on the floor, covered her face and started crying. Also, after he found out that Wan Qingqing was dead, he felt even more hopeless. Huasi seemed to love that woman a lot, Huamin analyzed. That woman is a bad person. She was the one who instigated C to do all these bad things. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done it. Although he had a bad temper since he was young, he wasn't completely heartless. I hate that woman to death, but why did C have to be so stupid? He's not young, he's not even married. He doesn't even have children of his own. If my mom found out, she wouldn't be able to take it, right? Ugh. Hu Yanyan cried sadly. Just then, footsteps came from the door. Huamin looked up and saw Shin Mingxi walking in with a box of food in his hand. It seemed like he was here to deliver food to Hu Yanyan. Behind him was a male assistant from the Shin Corporation. What's wrong? What happened? When Shin Mingxi walked in, he saw Hu Yanyan squatting on the floor and crying. He panicked a little and immediately placed the box of food on the table. Then he quickly walked over to comfort her. He reached out his hand and helped Hu Yanyan up. Hu Yanyan threw herself into Shin Mingxi's arms. He's dead. I don't have a brother anymore. Hu Yanyan broke down in tears. Shin Mingxi comforted her gently, which was rare for him. Don't cry. Death might be a good thing for him. Maybe he'd rather die than go to jail for so long. You're still very weak. You have to be strong. Shin Mingxi comforted her for a while until the nurse came over and gave her a sedative. Only then did Hu Yanyan fall asleep. Shin Mingxi glanced at Huamin and asked, "Can we talk outside?" Okay. Huamin nodded. Then she followed Shin Mingxi to the corridor outside the ward. When can she be discharged? I've asked her doctor. The earliest is 3 days. Is her daughter at your house? Shen Mingxi asked. Yes. When she's discharged from the hospital, I'll send someone to pick up the child. Then I'll settle the mother and daughter down so you don't have to worry about anything in the future. Young Master Shen, if you don't mind me asking, what's your relationship with Yan Yan? If Jiang Shaowei hadn't mentioned this yesterday, Huamin wouldn't have thought too much about it and wouldn't have asked so directly. But now Shen Mingxi was saying that he wanted to take over Hu Yanyan and take care of her in the future. Wasn't this a bit inappropriate? We're friends. But young Master Shen, you have a family now. If you treat Yanyan like this, it'll cause misunderstandings. Your wife, Wei Ying, already gave her a hard time. It's not easy for a woman to raise a child alone. I don't want her to be misunderstood because of you and be called a mistress. If you really want her best, you should consider her situation. Don't you think so? Huamin didn't care too much and questioned Shen Mingxi sharply. Wei Ying and I are in the process of getting a divorce. I'll cut ties with her as soon as possible, Shen Mingxi said coldly. Chapter 2051. So, do you want the whole world to know that you divorced Wei Ying because of Hu Yanyan? The Wei family isn't happy about it to begin with. By doing this, you're not protecting her, you're putting her in danger. Huamin analyzed. Shen Mingxi fell silent once again. Perhaps he really did like to do things his own way and didn't care about what others thought. He also neglected how much this matter hurt Hu Yanyan. After being reminded by Huamin, he didn't know what to say. I understand that you want to take care of Yanyan and her daughter. But I don't want them to be hurt by public opinion or actions. The Wei family has always been aggressive, so you should know what to do. This is good for everyone. Yanyan saved my daughter this time and I'm very grateful to her. If you don't care, I won't ignore it either. I've already arranged a way out for her. Also, Yanyan is very innocent right now. If you really only treat her as a friend, you should make things clear to her. Don't give her too much hope. Otherwise, if she falls for you like she did before, you'll really be in pain together. Huamin's words made Shen Mingxi feel ashamed. He finally understood why Suyu loved this woman so much. He was too smart and calm. He was able to see everything too clearly, too thoroughly. I understand. I'll think about what you said. Thank you. Shen Mingxi thanked Huamin. No need to thank me. I'm just stating the facts, I'm not targeting anyone. Then Huamin turned around and left the hospital. Time passed day by day and in the blink of an eye, a week had passed. Hu Yanyan was completely discharged from the hospital. That day Shen Mingxi sent someone to pick up Hu Yanyan's daughter, Tian Tian. Huamin prepared a 2-bedroom apartment for the mother and daughter, but Hu Yanyan didn't move in. She knew that Shen Mingxi had better arrangements. Hu Yanyan, on the other hand, was still immersed in the news of Hu Si's death. Therefore Huamin didn't continue to disturb her and wanted to give her some time to calm down. Then the annual Mian Foundation charity night arrived. This was a charity gene that Qin Chu named after Huamin. In the past few years, it had helped many people in need. Children from the mountains, lonely old people and children with congenital heart disease. All in all, Huamian had been doing this for more than 4 years, and the Mian Foundation had become a famous charity organization in China. That day, the GK Corporation sent out invitations to host a large-scale charity banquet at the Gala Hotel. Of course, the means. Huamian was wearing a simple white evening gown. She held onto Qin Chu's arm and walked into the ballroom amidst the warm applause. They immediately attracted everyone's attention. Wow! President Qin is so handsome in person. Dr. Hua is so elegant too. I can't believe they're so in love with each other. I'm so jealous. Yang Merong held the twins' hands and also came to the banquet. Qixing was busy helping out. The twins were dressed in black and white today. Pudding was dressed like a boy, wearing a black suit and a black top hat. Little Bean was dressed like her mother, wearing a white princess gown and a garland of flowers. They were so beautiful that many reporters took pictures of them. Qin Ning was also dressed in a handsome suit and leather boots. She was very unique but not flashy. Compared to the other women in evening gowns, she had a neutral beauty. Tang Chuan, Su Yu and Wei Liao came together. As soon as they walked in, they saw Qin Ning with a glass of champagne in her hand. Their eyes lit up. Chapter 2052. Look, that's Qin Ning. She's super hot, isn't she? Tang Chuan pointed at Qin Ning not far away and told Wei Liao. Wei Liao glanced at her and was very calm. She's okay, she's not that beautiful. I think she's slightly prettier than mine. In your eyes, even she sure Diao Chan can't compare to your family, right? Seriously. Tang Chuan couldn't wait to walk over to Qin Ning. Hey, you're super cool today. Tang Chuan looked at Qin Ning and complimented her. Thank you. I have to go see a few clients, excuse me. Qin Ning smiled distantly, then turned around and walked over to a few big clients from Europe and America. Then she chatted with them in fluent American English. She didn't look like an immature little girl at all. Instead, she exuded the aura of a domineering female Su. Young Master Wei. What do you think? I think Qin Ning is super cool. Look, she can represent the company and talk business with big clients. She speaks fluent English and her movements are extremely elegant. Tang Chuan thought that Qin Ning was full of good points. No matter how he looked at her, she was good. Su didn't comment. He just quietly drank his red wine. Wei Liao couldn't help but laugh. If you think someone is good, you'll praise them to the heavens. She's really good. I'm not praising her, it's the truth. But you don't say. The Qin family's genes are really too strong. I won't talk about Qin Chu so that Lord Su won't feel bad. Look at the twins, they're so beautiful. When they grow up they'll be amazing. Qin Ning. I fell in love with her at first sight. Did you know? The feeling. It's just like when you first met sis-in-law. Forget it, you guys wouldn't understand even if I told you guys. Tang Chuan usually wasn't interested in these kinds of dinners. This time when he found out that Qin Ning was there, he volunteered to come. He even generously prepared to bid for something at the charity banquet and stand out. Actually, it was just to get Qin Ning's attention. Huamin, as the host and the female lead of the Mian Foundation, made an opening speech on the stage. The auction began. At this moment Hua Xiqian arrived. He directly bid 30 million for one of Huamin's calligraphy pieces. Huamin had learned calligraphy for a few days when he was young. Later on he practiced it on his own. Over the years he didn't have much time to study it, but fortunately his writing style was still very free and easy. Those 4 words were, virtuous as water. In fact, the starting price was only 500,000 yuan. After all, Huamin wasn't a famous person. However, to everyone's surprise, Hua Xiqian directly offered 30 million yuan. The host personally handed the painting to Hua Xiqian. His assistant followed behind him and paid for it with his credit card. He was extremely generous. When Huamin saw Hua Xiqian, he was surprised because he didn't expect him to recover so quickly. When Qin Chu saw him, his expression was extremely ugly. After Hua Xiqian received the painting, he took a picture with Huamin as usual before getting off the stage. Little sister Mian. I was discharged from the hospital. You didn't even visit me. What a heartless girl, Hua Xiqian whispered into Huamin's ear. I don't think we'll have anything to do with each other. President Hua, you're willing to spend so much money to buy the painting and do charity. I really admire you. I still have things to do, you can leave. Huamian didn't want to be in too much of a hurry with Hua Xiqian, so she found an excuse to leave. Hua Xiqian handed the painting in his hand to his assistant behind him. Then he walked step by step towards Qin Chu with his crutches. Hua Xiqian's thighs were stabbed twice by Hua Xi. The injury was very serious, so he had to rely on crutches to walk. This made Qin Chu feel a lot better. After the plane crash, Qin Chu also had to rely on crutches for a while. President Qin, how have you been? Hua Xiqian smiled. Chapter 2053. What goes around comes around. I bet you didn't think this day would come for you. Qin Chu glanced at Hua Xiqian's face. Huh. I didn't think this would happen, but it's a good thing that Hua Xi killed himself. Otherwise, I would have had to arrange for someone to kill him myself. I really didn't think that I would fall so hard. But I'm glad that Mian is fine. Mian will be fine, I'll protect her. President Hua, you don't have to worry about her. Qin Chu said coldly. Hua Xiqian smiled and changed the topic. I heard that bitch Mo Shuer came looking for you. What, are you going to team up with me? Do you think I'll work with her? You're just a bunch of trash. I, Qin Chu, don't need anyone to tie me down. I can defeat you fair and square. Really? Now that you mention it, I'm starting to look forward to it. Hua Xiqian continued to laugh arrogantly. Look forward to it. You'll see more and more surprises. Qin Chu sneered and turned to leave. Boss. Let's leave Qin Chu alone. Who knows how much information he has? Last time he exposed Miss Mo's drug abuse and caused our company to lose a lot of money. Hu Xiqian's assistant reminded him. I know what I'm doing. I don't care how much we lose. In my eyes, nothing is more important than her. I actually hope that Qin Chu and I will fight to the death. If I have a chance of winning, maybe I'll take her away. Hu Xiqian picked up his champagne and drank it all in one gulp. Then he walked towards the center of the crowd. Hu Mian rarely wore high heels, so she wasn't used to walking for a long time. She felt a sharp pain in her ankle. She slowly walked to the side, put down the champagne in her hand and looked down to adjust her shoes. However, because she was dressed too elegantly, it was inconvenient. Siyu turned around and saw her, so he immediately walked over. What's wrong? Siyu asked. Nothing. Hu Min was too embarrassed to tell him. Is your leg injured? I think your walking posture isn't quite right. Siyu carefully noticed that Hu Min's walking posture wasn't very natural. Seeing that he could no longer hide it, Hu Min could only nod his head. Yes, there are some scrapes around my ankle. I think it's broken. Siyu immediately squatted down and carefully picked up Hu Min's foot. Hey Siyu, don't, it's not good. Because they were in public, Hu Min felt very uncomfortable. It's okay. It's because there's nothing between us that we dare to do this in public. Besides, I just want to take a look at your injury. After saying that, Siyu took a careful look, got up and walked to the waiter on the other side to ask for a band-aid. Then just as he was about to turn around and change Hu Min's clothes, he remembered what Hu Min had just said. He was afraid that the media would take a picture of it and spread it around. So he walked over to Qin Ning. Hi. He took the initiative to greet him. Qin Ning was a little flattered. Hi. Can you do me a favor? Siyu asked. Sure, go ahead. Can you help me put this band-aid on Hu Min's left ankle? She's injured. Okay. To be honest, Qin Ning felt a little bad. She had waited so long for Siyu to take the initiative to talk to her, but it had to do with her sister-in-law. Thank you. After speaking, Siyu handed the band-aid to Qin Ning and turned around. Sister-in-law, your foot is injured? Qin Ning walked over with the band-aid and slowly asked. Chapter 2054. Oh, how did you know? Ning, Hu Min was confused. Siyu gave me a band-aid and asked me to put it on for you, Qin Ning said awkwardly. Oh, give it to me, I'll do it myself. Hu Min smiled. No, I'll do it for you. You're wearing an evening gown, it's not convenient. Qin Ning said as she squatted down and carefully put the band-aid on Hu Min's injured ankle. Thank you, Ning. Hu Min looked at her gratefully. Oh, you're welcome. We're family, you don't have to be so polite. But by the way, Siyu is so nice to you, sis-in-law. Actually, Qin Ning didn't mean anything else when she said this. She was just envious. It was heartwarming to see that a young master like Siyu had such a meticulous side to him. He was able to notice Hu Mian's injury in front of so many people. Hu Min smiled awkwardly and explained, Siyu is really a good friend. Then everyone went back to work. Qin Ning held a high position in the headquarters, so she was good at doing business. At the charity dinner, she signed 3 orders for the company. 1 was from Taiwan and 2 were from Europe and America. Just as Qin Ning let out a sigh of relief and was about to ask her brother for credit, someone bumped into her. Then a glass of champagne spilled on her black suit. Oh my god, I'm crazy. Qin Ning was in a bad mood. But when she saw who bumped into her, she felt even worse. The person who bumped into her was none other than Tang Chuan. Oh, I'm sorry, I accidentally dirted your gown. Tang Chuan held out a tissue to help Qin Ning wipe it off. Qin Ning immediately backed away. No, it's okay, I'll do it myself. No, I happen to have a dress for my date. You can change into it first. Don't ruin your perfect image. Tang Chuan picked up the paper bag and handed it to Qin Ning. Tang Chuan was an expert at picking up girls, so he had already prepared this move when he arrived. Usually many women would accept it. They would wear the expensive gowns he gave them and show off their shoulders. They would be especially sexy and would let Tang Chuan feast his eyes on them. And their female companions would also be grateful for his gentleness and thoughtfulness. In the end, she would use the excuse of returning his gown to him, and the two of them would have a romantic story. This method worked every time. But this time it failed. Looking at the dress, Qin Ning shook her head. I don't need it. But your suit is dirty and the party is still going on. I'm so sorry for the trouble. Hurry up and put it on. Don't be shy with me. Tang Chuan shoved the suit into Qin Ning's arms. Qin Ning still had no intention of taking it. Not only that, she straightened up and took off her dirty suit. Inside, she wore a simple short-sleeved white shirt. It was especially beautiful. I'll just take off my jacket and not wear it. It's not troublesome and it won't affect anything. You don't have to blame yourself. Then Qin Ning threw the suit on the table and walked away in the white shirt. Tang Chuan looked at her valiant figure and was about to become infatuated with her. Damn, she's too cool. I love this woman. Oh no, I have to get her. My heart can't take it anymore. This aroused Tang Chuan's desire to conquer her. After several failed attempts to get close to Qin Ning, Tang Chuan decided to change his strategy and approach her from another angle. So he smiled and walked towards the twins who were eating ice cream not far away. Pudding Little Bean, you two are so beautiful tonight. I give you full marks for this outfit. Tang Chuan praised the twins. Chapter 2055. Uncle Tang, it's not like you to kiss ass like this. Do you have a favor to ask of us? Little Bean looked at Tang Chuan with disdain. Of course not. I'm telling the truth. You two are already good looking. Now that you're dressed like this, you're the center of attention. Tang Chuan continued to compliment them. So? Pudding asked calmly. So I think I need to tell you two the truth. If that's the case, then you don't have to. After all, the whole world knows that we're good looking. It's annoying to hear about it. But thank you, Uncle Tang. Pudding rejected him mercilessly. Then the twins continued to eat and bully Tang Chuan, leaving him speechless. Ahem, Pudding, are all of your family good looking? Tang Chuan deliberately tried to find a topic to talk about. So you want to ask why my auntie is so beautiful? Pudding glanced at his face indifferently. Pudding, I realize that you're a very smart kid. Ah, no wonder Lord Su likes you so much. Hey, handsome Su likes us, not just my sister. Watch what you're saying. Don't offend one just because you want to please one. You're already so old, yet you still make mistakes like this. It's worrying. Little Bean said unhappily. Yes, Little Bean, you're right. Uncle Tang didn't use the right words. Ah, don't be mad. By the way, I heard that you two like the Piano Prince Klein's concert. So, I know he's going on tour next month. I've already booked all the VIP seats in the first row. Are you interested? I can give it to you for free. You can't even buy it with 10,000 yuan outside. Tang Chuan wanted to bribe the twins. So when he heard from Su Yu that they liked the Piano Prince's concert, he immediately bought the VIP tickets at a sky-high price. He was extremely generous. To his surprise, Little Bean glanced at him and replied, No, it's okay. There are too many people at the concert. We don't like to crowd with other people. Don't you like Klein a lot? Don't tell me you're going to miss it? Tang Chuan was unwilling to give up and continued to tempt him. Of course not, Klein and my auntie are friends. When they were in the States, they often had dinner together. Auntie said that after the concert she would invite him to our house and teach us how to play the piano. You can save your tickets for your girls. Thank you so much, Uncle Tang. Little Bean patted Tang Chuan's shoulder. He pretended to comfort him, but Tang Chuan's heart was about to collapse at this moment. So awkward, this Cleo was actually Qin Ning's friend. Then wouldn't it be very low of him to spend so much money to buy a ticket at such a high price? Pudding, your aunt seems to be very powerful in the States, right? Tang Chuan asked tentatively. He's okay. My auntie joined the board of directors when she was 13 years old. She started attending all kinds of meetings and doing all kinds of business. It's already become a habit. She's not that powerful, Pudding replied proudly. She joined the board of directors when she was 13 years old. Is that okay? Tang Chuan was almost 30 years old and had only attended a few board meetings. In comparison, he felt a little ashamed. Then, did your auntie have a boyfriend when she was in the States? Was he an American or Chinese? Tang Chuan continued to gossip. Chapter 2056. Uncle Tang, is it really okay for you to ask such a direct question? Little Bean looked at Tang Chuan with disdain. But my auntie won't like stallions. Little Bean began to talk dirty. Upon hearing this, Tang Chuan's body trembled. Little ancestor, I beg you, can you not slander me? Although I like to pick up girls, that's all on the surface. I haven't really slept with many, okay? My reputation will be completely ruined by the two of you. Tang Chuan wanted to cry but had no tears. It's true. My auntie has never been in a relationship before. She's not suitable for you. You'll scare her. Little Bean explained. No history of love? So pure. The fact that you've never been in love before is a highlight. I like it. Tang Chuan was secretly delighted. That's why I think she's more compatible with handsome Sue. Little Bean added. Sup, let me explain. I'm not trying to smear your reputation, but your handsome Sue had a lot of women before. He's not a virgin. Why is Lord Sue good enough for your auntie but not me? I'm sure I'm as good as Lord Sue in every way. Tang Chuan flipped his hair full of confidence. Pudding looked at him and replied, but we like handsome Sue, not you. You're really direct, little girl. Tang Chuan's glass heart shattered into pieces. So, Uncle Tang, don't waste your time. We won't help you. Little Bean added. Lord Sue won't like your aunt. If you two win, it will only hurt your aunt. Tang Chuan decided to change his strategy. Nonsense. You're just afraid that you can't beat handsome Sue, Little Bean refuted. No, I'm saying that handsome Sue has someone in his heart. That's why he doesn't feel anything for other women. Don't tell me that the person in handsome Sue's heart is still my mommy. Little Bean felt like she was going to collapse. I won't say more. You two can think about it. Just don't hurt your auntie. Seeing that the twins didn't have a breakthrough, Tang Chuan left dejectedly. Little Bean looked at her sister anxiously. Sis, do you think Uncle Tang is telling the truth? Handsome Sue still hasn't gotten over mommy? I'm not too sure either. Only the person involved would know. But if it's true mommy and daddy to each other, they only have eyes for each other. If handsome Sue can't get over her, Puddings analyzed, what should we do? Do you really want him to be single forever? Or with that bitch Jiantong? Little Bean was unwilling to give up. It's not something we can control. Let's just wait and see. We'll just do our job. Then Pudding calmly took a sip of her juice and didn't say anything else. When the banquet was about to end, Jiantong suddenly arrived. She was dressed to the nines. As soon as she walked in, she was surrounded by a large group of reporters. Miss Jian, why are you so late? Why didn't you come with President Sue? Rumor has it that you two broke up, right? Miss Jian, haven't you met his parents? People are saying that you haven't been accepted by the Sue family. Is that true? The reporters always hit the nail on the head. Jiantong was very embarrassed. Chapter 2057. I'm sorry, I don't know where you guys heard these rumors. President Sue and I have a very stable relationship. We've never fought and we've always been on good terms. The Sue family is also very nice to me. I've been to their house for dinner and the elders in the Sue family are very kind, Jiantong said with a smile, not feeling guilty at all. Then do you guys plan to get married? A reporter asked. We'll have to let nature take its course. We're both enjoying our time together. If there's any good news, we'll be the first to share it. Thank you. Then, accompanied by her assistant, Jiantong walked into the venue. At the end of the show, she spent 1 million yuan to buy a charity item. She did charity and left a good name for herself. Then she walked up to Su Yu and held on to Su Yu's arm in front of everyone. Aren't you out of town? Why are you back? Su Yu hadn't seen Jiantong for a few days. Because of the promotion of the new movie, he didn't know she was back. Yeah, I came back early because I wanted to do charity with you. Jiantong leaned her head on Su Yu's shoulder coquettishly. Su Yu smiled stiffly and turned to look at Huamin. He wanted to see a trace of displeasure on her face to prove how important he was to Huamin. Unfortunately, Huamin and Qin Chu were chatting with big clients and didn't notice him at all. He was a bit disappointed. He looked down at the wine glass in his hand. The reporters took the opportunity to take photos. Jiantong was even more unrestrained. She gently kissed Su Yu's cheek. Su Yu pushed her away in disgust. Jiantong, don't do this. Of course I have to act like it. Jiantong smiled like a flower. When Qin Ning saw this scene, she felt a little upset. She turned her head and slowly drank her champagne, pretending not to see it. Sis, Bimbo Jian is here again. Little Bean pouted angrily. So, she's here to be tortured again? Pudding said fiercely. She put down the juice in her hand and walked over with Little Bean hand in hand. Then from afar the two of them dashed towards Su Yu. Handsome Su, I'm so tired. My legs hurt. Give me a hug. Little Bean began to act cute. Okay. Suyu picked up Little Bean with one hand lovingly. Handsome Su, I want one too. Pudding started to act cute. Suyu squatted down and picked up Pudding with his other hand. Naturally, he squeezed Jian Tong to the side. Auntie Jian. The other day when I was on the forum, I saw someone say that you went out for supper with a male celebrity in the middle of the night while you were promoting your movie. Is that true? Little Bean turned around and asked in front of the media. That's someone from the same crew. Other than the two of us, there are many other crew members present. Jian Tong had experienced the power of the two little ancestors, so she didn't dare to be negligent and immediately explained. Oh really? Then what about the script in the middle of the night? Were there other crew members present? Was it at 3 a.m.? Pudding continued to ask. There's no such thing. It's fake. The media is trying to smear my reputation. A few days ago there was indeed a short video, but because it was too blurry, they weren't sure if it was Jian Tong herself. Plus, the person herself didn't respond, so the matter was left unsettled. After Pudding brought it up, many reporters pointed their cameras at Jian Tong, trying to find some valuable news. Yeah, I saw a lot of fans say that the woman in the video isn't you. Pudding said calmly. Of course it's not me. They're trying to smear my reputation, Jian Tong denied. But I took a closer look. The tattoo on the woman's right hand is exactly the same as your rose. I really believe that it's you. What a coincidence, huh? Pudding hit the nail on the head. Just then, the reporters furiously took pictures of the rose tattoo between Jian Tong's thumb and index finger. Jian Tong also turned pale with fright. Suyu looked at the twins helplessly, knowing that Jian Tong was going to be in trouble again. So Auntie Jian, handsome Su is so nice to you, why are you still so restless? Why do you have to go through the script with a male celebrity in the middle of the night? Little Bean asked. Chapter 2058. I didn't. That wasn't me. Jian Tong was going crazy and she couldn't help but raise her voice a little. Calm down, don't get so worked up. It's better that it wasn't you. If there's a mistake, there's a way to correct it. Why are you being so loud? They're still kids. They're just joking with you. Suyu was unhappy with Jian Tong's attitude towards the twins, so he scolded Jian Tong in front of the media. Jian Tong felt as if 10,000 alpacas were running through her heart and she couldn't speak her mind. I'm not being loud, I just can't stand being framed. Jian Tong looked so wrong that she was about to cry. Okay, Auntie Jian, we believe you. But you're an adult now, you need to behave yourself. Although everyone says that the women in the entertainment industry are dirty, we still want to believe that you're the only one who's clean. We won't ask how you became famous. Just treat handsome Su well in the future. What Pudding said sounded reasonable, but it didn't sound right. She made it sound as if Jian Tong used to be so unbearable. Pudding's IQ wasn't something normal people could understand. However, Jian Tong didn't dare to say anything, and she cursed the twins dozens of times in her heart. President Su, do you want to come to my place for dinner tonight? My mom made your favorite squirrel mandarin fish. Jian Tong changed the subject. She wanted to show off her love in front of the media, and she wanted to invite Suyu in front of the media so that Suyu couldn't refuse. Before Suyu could say anything, Pudding immediately looked at Suyu's face and said coquettishly, Handsome Su, didn't you say you were going to take us back to your mansion for dinner tonight? We haven't seen great-grandpa in a long time. Okay, your great-grandpa is really home tonight. After I'm done, I'll talk to your mom. You two can come with me, but you have to stay over tonight, okay? No problem, the twins said in unison. Jian Tong's smile seemed to have become forced. I'm sorry. I'll go to your house another day. There will be 2 guests tonight. Suyu looked at Jian Tong apologetically. It's okay. There's still a lot of time in the future. There's no rush. Jian Tong pretended to be magnanimous. The twins dominated Suyu until the end of the banquet. Jian Tong could not find a chance to do so, so she left with her assistant in anger. When the banquet ended, Suyu held the twins' hands and went to ask for leave from Huamin. I'm taking the twins with me. Come to my house for dinner tonight. Suyu smiled. They'll stay overnight too. Don't worry, Dr. Hua, Pudding added. Go ahead. You're not allowed to stop playing. Don't disturb your great-grandfather's rest. Do you understand? Huamin instructed. Got it, Dr. Hua. When we're not home, you should spend some quality time with Mr. Qin. It's a rare opportunity. Little Bean giggled. Huamin looked embarrassed. Don't talk nonsense. Kids should think like kids, okay? Huamin rolled his eyes at his daughter. Suyu left the banquet first with the twins. Within driving them, Huamin was relieved. Qin Chu and Huamin stayed behind to see the guests off. One after another, Huasiqian looked at Huamin meaningfully before he left. Huamin pretended not to see him. He didn't want to greet him, so he turned his face away. Little sister Mion, remember what I told you. I'll try my best to make it come true. As long as I'm alive, as long as I'm not dead, I'll never give up on that beautiful dream. Huasiqian's strange words made Huamin freeze. Chapter 2059. Then Huasiqian turned around and left. Behind him, Huamian muttered to herself, "He's crazy." But she knew that Huasiqian was talking about what he said to her when she was kidnapped at the warehouse. The island, the paradise, the beautiful scenery that Huasiqian described. She didn't want Qin Chu to know because Qin Chu would be worried. Huasiqian was crazy. Wei Liao and Suyu left one after another, but Tang Chuan didn't leave. He couldn't find a chance to talk to Qin Ning until the meeting was about to end. Qin Ning was standing at the door drinking water tiredly when he came over. He took off his suit jacket and put it on Qin Ning. "Here you're wearing too little." Suddenly Qin Ning was shocked. She turned around and was about to refuse. "I don't need." But Tang Chuan had already walked away with a grin on his face. "What's going on, Ning Ning? Are you close to Tang Chuan?" Huamin saw this and asked nosily. "No, sis-in-law, I don't even know what he wants. He scared me." Qin Ning helplessly took off the suit jacket. Just as she was about to throw it on the floor, she realized that it was from a luxury brand that she especially liked. It was a brand that was rarely seen on the market. It was handmade by an Italian company and the designer was a gay man. However, he was an unparalleled genius. He was arrogant and unruly, so the style of his clothes was bold and imaginative. Qin Ning liked it very much. A few of her clothes were also custom-made here. Thinking of this, she hesitated. In the end, she kept the jacket that Tang Chuan threw to her. After a busy day, Qin Chu and Huamin drove home tiredly after the dinner party. "Tonight, we've raised more than 70 million yuan. I've already contacted Southside. We'll donate this money to children with leukemia in our name. Those children with poor family conditions who can't afford bone marrow transplants. Hopefully we can save more lives." "Well, it's up to you, honey." Qin Chu knew that ever since Huamin became a mother, she had become more passionate about charity. This was especially true for charities related to children. Today the two little witches are not at home. We are so much quieter. Huamin smiled. "If these two girls keep sticking to Suyu, I'm going to get jealous." Mr. Qin chuckled. "Can't you be more mature?" Huamin teased him. "Useless. You don't have to be useful with your wife and children." All right. Our wise and mighty Lord Qin has now become a complete slave to his daughter, all right? That's good. I want to spoil my daughters until they're out of control so that they won't be bullied," Qin Chu fantasized as he drove. "Yeah, you're right. If you continue spoiling them, no one will dare to bully them. But when they grow up, who will dare to marry them?" Huamin was worried. She didn't even dare to imagine what kind of boyfriend the two girls would find in the future. Most importantly, what kind of man would be able to stand them? Aren't there already? Qin Chu looked at Huamin. Huamin didn't realize what Qin Chu meant. Wei Yunchu and Gao Buyan one each, Qin Chu said. Ha. Huamin laughed hysterically. "Honey, can you not laugh so devilishly?" Mr. Qin was speechless. "Honey, if Lingling and Xiaowei hear what you just said, they'll have a meltdown." Huamin continued to laugh. "Weren't they the ones who wanted to marry us when we were kids?" Qin Chu said proudly. "Times are different now. Look at your daughters. Wei Yunchu has been bullied by them so much that he doesn't even dare to complain. Every time we get together, he hides in Xiaowei's arms and doesn't dare to come down. Gao Buin doesn't even come to our gatherings. When he sees the two girls, he runs away. He's traumatized. So think about it, to what extent do people want to avoid your daughters? Hey, they're still young. Maybe they'll be better when they grow up," Qin Chu said with a glimmer of hope. Huamin almost burst out laughing. Chapter 2060. Mr. Qin, you think too highly of your daughters. The couple chatted and laughed as they went home. Huamin was exhausted from the day and his leg was injured. After they got home, they took a quick shower and went to bed. 12:30 p.m. Chin Chu got up and tucked Huamin in before opening the door and going downstairs. He made himself a cup of coffee in the pantry. Qin Ning walked downstairs and saw the dim lights downstairs. She knew it was her brother. Big brother, why aren't you asleep? Yeah, I can't sleep. Is sis-in-law asleep? Qin Ning asked. She's asleep. He's exhausted. She works during the day and has to attend the charity dinner at night. I feel bad for her. Qin Chu took a sip of his coffee. Sis-in-law is a very demanding person. She's very busy. She's never been the housewife type anyway. Qin Ning smiled. What about you? Why aren't you asleep? Qin Chu looked at his sister. I'm probably not used to the time difference. I can't sleep well, so I wanted to go downstairs for a drink. Qin Ning made herself a cup of milk tea. Then the siblings sat down in the living room. Qin Chu turned on the dim floor lamp. The siblings chatted. Big brother, how long are you going to hide this from sis-in-law? I don't know. I just don't want her to worry. Let's leave it at that for now. Qin Chu was a little down as he looked down at the brown coffee cup in the water. Sis-in-law will find out sooner or later. Then let's wait until she finds out. Oi, I don't know what you're thinking. I know you love sis-in-law a lot, but sometimes you act. I can't put my finger on it. Anyways, I think you're a little weird sometimes. Qin Ning smiled. Qin Chu didn't say anything. Big brother, yeah? So you treat sis-in-law so well. Aren't you jealous? Qin Ning asked carefully. Jealous? Of course he will. But I know that Suyu is a gentleman. He never took advantage of someone when they were down, nor did he do anything to ruin our relationship. Most importantly, when I was in trouble, he was the one who helped me on through the lowest point of her life. People have to have a conscience. When it comes to life and death, I don't care about my love rival anymore. He saved Mion's life, so he's my savior. I'll be grateful to him for the rest of my life, Qin Chu said slowly. Big brother, you're a man if you can think like that. You're not like some men who are petty and narrow-minded. As long as their wife comes into contact with another man, they'll become suspicious. That's why sister-in-law loves you so much, right? My relationship with your sister-in-law has already reached a certain level. We trust each other unconditionally. No matter what happens, we believe that the other party will never change her mind. So nothing can affect us. Unless it's life or death, nothing can separate us. I'm saying, what if the time bomb wasn't deactivated to save Little Bean? Sis-in-law really died in the explosion, what would you do? I would keep my promise to her and raise Pudding and Little Bean. Then I would go see her with a clear conscience. Qin Ning was about to cry when she heard this. If she hadn't seen it with her own eyes, she wouldn't have believed that her brother and sister-in-law's love was so unwavering. Big brother, I'm so envious of you. You have such a great woman who loves you so much and waits for you no matter how hard it is. I'm also envious of sis-in-law. You love her so deeply. No matter what happens, you two will always be together. Qin Ning's eyes were wet. Some miracles exist as long as you believe in them. Ning, you have to believe in love. Only then will you have the chance to meet it. Qin Chu rarely talked about love with Qin Ning. Big brother, I think you're right. Suyu and I aren't right for each other. I've already decided to give up. Did you hit a wall? Qin Chu looked at his sister and asked calmly. You're tuning in to the Biao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.